Hey guys, it's me, Dubred, and here I am with another video for you guys today, and today we are taking a look at my new Dubco Motors V1. It is an inline-4, old-style work truck, and today I'm going to go ahead and take a little walkthrough of it for you guys. Now, I built this in the world of Stormworks, so if you've got Stormworks, just type in Dubco Motors and it should come up with it. This is a brand new design. I have never built a vehicle of this stature before. So this is going to be pretty neat. It's incredibly detailed, although I still plan on doing much more to it in the future. Now let's go ahead and start off first. I know some of you are going to be watching this and just say, hey, it doesn't have mirrors. I know it doesn't have mirrors. We don't have mirrors in the game, but I'm going to try to figure something out with like a camera and a little monitor, a 1x1 monitor. So, here we are. We're going to go ahead and crack it open. And you see, I'm actually proud of this one, but I got a dome light that opens with the door. But it's not just that door, it will open with any door on the truck that isn't the tailgate. Well, it'll open with either of these doors. And then, of course, you close it. Hop in. There you go, and you can also turn it back on right there. Pretty neat. And then, of course, standard gauges. We've got speed, RPM, fuel level, and our engine heat right here. I just had to run it to get it out of the garage thing over there, the hangar. So yeah, we got our horn. Way advanced. Best of the best, right? I'm going to go ahead and crack the hood real quick. Pop the hood, not crack the hood. Don't crack the hood, that's how you end up having to deal with insurance. So we got a makeshift radio that just looks like a cigarette on some sort of weird holder for it. And I know, but like I said, first vehicle. This is supposed to be a glove box with a locking setup on there, but I'm going to go and figure that out later. Of course, I'm going to redo that a little bit there, I think. It doesn't really look like a lock. It looks more like a key or something. I don't know. Here we have my engine that I built. Now, I know that it's supposed to look like an old carbureted motor. However, that is our intake. So basically what I had to do is because, the world of Stormworks is a little bit blocky, a lot like Minecraft or Scrap Mechanic, if you ever played either of those two. And basically, that's my air manifold, and that's my air manifold, and they have to go up to be able to get in here, because that's how I designed it, right? Well, you can't just have it be bare and then go up inside of a block. It doesn't work that way. So what I had to do is run some in-block piping from here to here to here out this fluid port, which works as an air intake. And that comes out the front, but it still kind of looks like an old-fashioned carbureted intake. Those are our beautiful exhaust headers. It runs back to the rear left of the truck, and I believe I did, I guess I didn't put a catalytic converter on. I was going to, however, I had to reroute everything for the transmission and the flywheel. It doesn't serve much purpose, but I threw in a nice little brake master cylinder right here. Seeing as we have electronic brakes in Stormworks, I don't see the point. And then coolant reservoir to the radiator that runs off through the coolant pump and all that cool jazz up in front there. And I was going to do some designs on the side, but I actually had to run piping through there, so you can't do designs like that on the side, which sucks, but I'll figure something out. And of course, I just went ahead and used some paintable indicators for my lights and such. Other than the actual headlights, I put some spotlights in there, kind of hidden. Like I said, this is still a work in progress, so you've got to bear with me on this one. Close that door. I open up the tailgate, I'm going to check this out. I did a little bit of wood effect on the back, and I figured that would look pretty good when you're loading coal in the back of the truck, or something like that. I understand there are no coal hoppers in the back of the truck, but, things can be added. I can make different versions of the truck as per request, and I'm not going to go, like, crazy, obviously. And I didn't realize it before, but this is pretty bare back here, so I think I might do the Dubco logo back here. The thing is, I've got it on the reverse light up there, if you can see that. And I've also got it up front. And then, of course, I got my bumpers, I got my little makeshift grill. I used some fluid ports for that, and the radiator itself. Figured the best cooling possible, because this motor runs up to about 60 RPM, and it's supposed to be a diesel, so you have to multiply that by like thousands. And it stalls pretty easy, but what can you expect with you know, flywheels and such, right? No, I still haven't figured out the motor thing, but like I said, there will be changes in the future, and new vehicles. I hope to add new vehicles, but I'm not sure. So we're going to go ahead and start this baby up. So what we've got in here, actually, I didn't show you the bottom here, but that's our current gear setup because it's a manual, and our reverse gear. So it should be fairly easy to use. Let's go ahead and try some turn on dome light so that I can actually see inside of here a little bit better. So yeah, let's go ahead and start it. Engine starting. And now turn on our headlights. They're not working great. I don't think. Oh yeah, the spotlights are working. So I still need to figure that out. I might. What I'll do, I think, is maybe put in like a little bit of like hidden lights. Maybe with like a robotic pivot that will pop out, kind of like James Bond style. And I've got my Dubco motors thing right there. Engine heat's not climbing very quick. It's actually staying relatively cool. And of course, we got our fuel level here. You know, it's 80 gallons. Well, I guess it's 80 liters, but I had to run, what, 8 separate tanks to be able to do that? Yeah. Merely because I wanted the bed to be as small as I could without the tanks and such sticking up, and I think I did a great job because underneath you'll see when I go into the editor there are a lot of microcontrollers and tanks and all sorts of technical stuff galore under there. So it's actually getting a bit late, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and switch this over so it's not late. Like I said, it stalls easy, and that's basically my auto start system that I built my own. However, it failed, so I borrowed someone else's. Alright, so the clutch is automatic, and it is gaining RPM. 4 RPM is the threshold for stalling, and I didn't realize how low this thing idles. It idles at 2 RPM. That's more like 200 RPM in compared to that 6,000 we talked about earlier. This is still in first gear, I should add. I haven't really ripped through the gears a whole lot yet, because this is the only map that I've tested it on so far. The only island, and I was actually thinking I would switch over to one of the bigger islands so we can get some good testing in. Maybe the Sawyer Islands. Yeah, Sawyer Islands would be best. So as you can see, the steering's quick, and that was the last minute decision I made because I wanted it to be a little bit easier to control, but also be able to snap through stuff and slalom pretty good, like here, you know. Of course, it's not like I'm using my G29 right here. I'm using keyboard controls, and to be quite honest, I have driven cars in this game that other people have made, and they were actually rather difficult to control with the keyboard controls, and this is actually surprisingly easy. So I did go ahead and soften the suspension for a little bit old-fashioned 50s style body roll there, and I actually think it worked out brilliantly. Of course, we got our turn signals too. I also tried to make my own version of this, however, I resorted to using some of someone else's. So we're in neutral right now. I just wanted to stop it and show you guys some stuff. That's our exhaust right there, if you were curious what that smoke is coming out of there. So the engine, like I said, has a red line of 6,000. We're going to go 60 in-game. I'm going to go ahead and take it up that far real quick. It's loud. Sounds like chainsaws. That's a nice burnout right there. Even got a little bit of a drift in there. Takumi Fujiwara 50s truck stage. Right? No, it's initially a 50s truck stage, but still. Hopefully some of my viewers understand what that came from. If not, go watch Initial D on Hulu or Funimation, actually. They have free English dub, English sub, all sorts of episodes in the regular Japanese version. It's awesome. It's probably my most favorite show in the world. think Initial D might be what started modern car culture, though. People think it was Fast and Furious. Nah, it was Initial D. Who knows? Who knows? So I'm going to turn off my turn signal there. The other one obviously works all the way up and around, and you got your hazards as well. So for reverse, actually, this was kind of confusing. It has to be in neutral. Then you click the reverse icon. Then you go ahead and give it some R's. Then you shift up and give it R so it doesn't stall out. Then we shift up to get it into reverse. And I didn't know that, and then we shift down to get it out, obviously. So when you turn off the ignition, like I just did, that was really close. I'm going to switch it out of reverse. We're going to go ahead and start it. Actually, we don't need to start it. You can still apply throttle. Alright, so basically, when you turn the ignition off, it will not stop the motor immediately. It's going to idle down till it's down. And that's a bug that I found with this. I need to work it out of this. I was figuring I'd just add like a fluid pump and just add that on to maybe the air and the fuel intakes. But I'm not sure. Those are pretty big and I don't have a lot of space under there to work and actually make it look nice. So what I found makes it easier to kill it is to just hit the brakes and then shift up and then shift back down again. Actually, I'd leave it in gear so it doesn't roll away because I did not add a parking brake. Eek. Perfect time to figure out all of my bugs in this truck. So we're going to go ahead and take this to a bigger map real quick, and I just want to get a good wide angle shot of it here. It is pretty fantastically done, I think, not to boast or anything, but I kind of like it. This is my first vehicle that I built that wasn't a failure, so bear with me on that one. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and take it to another map. Alright, we made it. We are currently on the Sawyer Islands. So we're going to go ahead and take this for a test drive on a much bigger surface. It does not have four-wheel drive. That was something that I'm planning on adding. It's like a little disconnectable like four-wheel drive module. It's just going to be difficult running that up to the front axle. Well, actually, it's independent front suspension, so there's no axle up front. However, the rear axle, I was going to add like a little differential thing on the back there, so it at least looks like it's got a diff. We can't add diffs in this game. So that's still first gear, and it's actually slightly frightening because I can't get the in the R's high enough to shift up, and I'm already reaching the end of the runway. So it's pretty interesting, that's for sure. Easy to drive, it doesn't really always want to come out of control a whole lot, so I'm going to go and shift up now. So that was an upshift. We're in second gear. Oh, wow, okay. So we're going to shift back down into first. It has a lot of power and flywheel weight. I've discovered this in V-Men you drive as well. So if your flywheel's too heavy and you shift up at high RPM in first gear to second, or vice, continue going up in the gears, it will do a burnout in second gear until the flywheel and the inertia has worn off. So yeah, that might be an issue. We may just ditch the flywheel and go flywheelless, and I'll add some sort of module like I did in my Arctic truck to be able to keep it up above ours, but that kind of makes it have like a low idle sound, boom, 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 like that. You'll hear them sometimes, on diesel pickups, it'll sound like it's revving up and then letting off really quick over and over again. That's what's called a low idle. No, it's not just somebody trying to make their truck sound like a semi. It's just the way that some trucks are. Especially when you add super high-end injectors that squirt a lot of fuel in, because that's how you get, obviously more horsepower with diesel motors, because there's no air. Well, there's air involved in diesel motors, but no spark plugs. A lot of people don't know that. Of course, why would they? I mean, not a whole lot of people care about engines, right? But, yeah. So, first off, I think I'm going to turn down the sensitivity on the steering, because as you can see right back there, I kind of got into some early 2000s video game bashing off either side of the road to keep it straight kind of situation right there. And that's not going to fly real well. Like I said, I'm still in first gear. I haven't said that yet again, but I'm saying it now. I'm still in first gear and haven't shifted up. It obviously moves pretty quick. I'm going to go ahead and take it up this hill here. I want to see how well it goes up the hill. It's probably not going to go great. Wow, I am impressed. I am genuinely, thoroughly impressed. I didn't think it'd even make it this far. Oh, but we're slipping. We're slipping. Yeah, you can hear it. We're getting high in the R's, but we're not going anywhere. Wow. We did it. We made it all the way up. And now we're going to go ahead and make it all the way down. So I just stuck it in neutral here, and it's not rolling any quicker, which is really kind of odd. So that is the automatic starter, again. I think I may lower the R's on that, maybe. So it only goes up to like 2 grand, and so, well, 220. Well, in theory, this is RPS, rotations per second. So I would have to do a math microcontroller to actually convert it to RPM, and that would be easy enough. Basically, what you do is you just multiply that by 15, then multiply the 15 by 4. And that's easy enough. I can do that, but I don't really feel like doing that kind of work today. I just want to look at the fuel level, and it hasn't dropped, and I'm wondering if maybe I looked at it while we were away, and I added 10 tanks. However, I made my own microcontroller for the fuel, and it only has 8 slots for, well, actually it has 9 slots, but I had to add a second one of those microcontrollers so that I could add more tanks to it. And I don't think that's registering because we have to be running out of fuel at this point. I would think we'd be running a little bit lower on fuel, but I don't know. And the only way to check the tank would be to get this up on a hill and then go underneath it. It's pretty low for most vehicles in the Stormworks, and I'm actually quite proud of how it came out. Like I said, though, I'm definitely changing that steering. That's a bit much. Turn a little bit and it goes all the way. Because I'm just trying to make some small adjustments here. I'm not trying to turn off into the drink over there. So we're going to go ahead and go across the drawbridge. I just wanted to see over there up in the forest if we could get some nice little style shots maybe of it for the thumbnail. I feel like that would be the best area to get some style shots. And we're going to try driving from first person view. So that was me using my brakes right there. Obviously they weren't covered. It's a different control axis. So I've got WS as an axis, arrow keys as an axis, and A and D as an axis, right? So for the brakes, I had an issue where when I used S to stop, it would make the actual engine die. So what I decided to do was convert that to my arrow keys, and I just use the arrow keys so that it doesn't stall out the engine unless it's in gear and it's at low RPM already. Oh yes, this will work perfectly right here. See, just like that. Just like a real manual transmission car. And I was actually wondering if I could add maybe the braking system as an axis, so whenever I hit the brakes, clutch engages. I know you're trying to start again, you can't start yet. Alright. Still in gear. So I realized that the shifting mechanism on this is actually incredibly difficult to use. It's almost like you have to hold the buttons to shift it. I didn't realize that. But yeah, it's definitely not easy, but I suppose it's worth it. Of course I'm going to say that because it's my vehicle, right? Shift up, no, we want to stop, thank you. So it's not keeping us still at all, so I'm just going to go ahead and hurry up and take a picture. See you guys momentarily. Alright guys, I think that's going to have to do it for today's walkthrough of the new, small, not so fast, but surprisingly comfortable Dubco Motors V1. Please check it out on Stormworks' workshop. All you gotta do is go to workshop and type in Dubco on Steam in the workshop section for Stormworks. Download it. You don't need anything else. You can go ahead and mess with it. Like I said, I will be adding future updates and such. Please let me know if there's any bugs or anything you noticed, going wrong with it, because I can't figure that all on my own, So we're gonna go ahead and do our best with this. And our best is what we make it. I just sounded like Christopher Lloyd there, and I'm sorry. My apologies. Although Christopher Lloyd, he's old, so I don't think he cares a whole lot, I guess. Who knows? I did sound like Christopher Lloyd, though. And he's kind of a cool guy, especially, Back to the Future Christopher Lloyd. That's pretty neat. Off-tracking. I wonder if I have ADHD or something, right? Alright, anyways. I will see you guys in the next video.